On the programme, I'm in the company at this time of the day of the mole catcher, Bob Woodbury, and we're just outside Nelsey in lovely farmland. We're actually at a domestic property, but you also deal with farms as well, don't you?
Yeah, in fact, farms is the far more serious side of mole catching. Farmers will cut their silage, obviously, in the summer, and what they want to avoid is soil getting into that silage, which can make it sour. And if you get sour silage, bear in mind, I'm not a vet and don't understand these kind of things, but apparently soil getting into the silage makes it sour and can cause listeriosis, which can affect cattle badly, apparently. It can make them blind. It can often lead to abortions of calves or stillborn calves. And in the worst situation, of course, the cows can die. So farmers want me to come along, and my farm work normally is between October and the end of January to try and clear as many moles as I can from what they call their cutting ground.
Well, we're next to your van at the moment, and here are the tools of the trade. Just talk me through what you've got here, Bob.
Right, well, the most significant thing, of course, is, as you've just seen me put on, is the latex gloves, which go on my hands first, and then covered by another pair of gloves, which is, again, to keep my scent away from all the equipment. Now, here I've got, actually, this is having been down to the Bath and West show recently, where we had a stand to explain what mole catching was about, and also to promote the British Traditional Mole Catchers Register, which is important because that was set up a few years ago to actually ensure people could find a mole catcher using these traditional methods. And there's a website there, and if anybody was interested and Googled Mendip Molecatcher, you'd come up with this website. But one of the old farmers has loaned me this old trap, and this is an old-fashioned trap which actually has got huge great spikes on it.
It's rather fearsome, I have to say, Bob.
What's it reach almost up to my knee, goes in the ground, and it needs cleaning up to be able to be used again, as distinct from what we all now use, which is the half-barrel tunnel trap, and it really explains what it's for, really. It is in the shape of a half a tunnel, half a circle. It sits in the run, underground, and it's got two wire loops on it, which in fact is where the mole is caught. The mole goes through a wire loop and hits a trigger, and when it hits a trigger, it's caught, and it's just like a mousetrap. And that's the end of the mole.
So it really is instant, isn't it?
Yes. And going back to the old traps, by the way, these normally would be the traps that people would expect to see.
This is like a clamp trap.
This is called a scissor trap. Many people will have had those and maybe had them in old greenhouses, which were the old traps which used to be used before the half-barrel tunnel trap became more popular. But if anybody has got any of the really old traps, going back into the last century perhaps, and would like to lend them to me, I would only be too pleased to have them on the odd display we do. And as I say, it can be found on the Mendip Molecatcher from Google.
Yes, you said you were at the Royal Bath and West show a few weeks ago. I mean, you had a lot of interest there, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. It's the first time we've ever done anything like that. But we had people from all over the country, obviously a show of that size, even people from as far away as Austria and France, who also have got problems. The interesting thing, you'll never get anybody from Ireland asking you about moles, and if you were a mole catcher in Ireland, you wouldn't be very successful.
Why is that?
Because they don't have any moles.
None at all?
No, nor Australia. I've had a number of times, maybe half a dozen times, tourists from Australia have wanted to be pictured beside my van, which says, as you see there, mole catcher, no mole, no fee, because they don't get moles in Australia either. So I'm glad I don't work in Ireland or Australia.
Have you ever been injured yourself on these traps? Have they ever gone off by mistake when you've caught them wrongly?
Yeah, normally when I'm doing something like this, explaining to somebody how a trap works, you can guarantee when the customer's saying, can you show me how you do it? That is the time when I'm not concentrating properly and it goes across your finger. I've only ever lost one now in 7 years, so it's not too bad.
I bet that's smart though, didn't it?
Yes, it did.